On track to be a teenage billionaire. How much does Ryan get to keep of all this?
Oh, be careful, Ryan.
Not literally, of course, but behind the scenes, Ryan's world is collapsing. His parents are being publicly blamed for abusing him since he was 3 years old. And it has now been revealed that the Ryan's World movie was a complete failure, costing over $9 million and leaving theaters empty.
The kids are acting really weird. Oh.
They must be working on my surprise.
Oh, well, in that case, we should really leave them alone.
It appears as though Ryan's parents are beginning to recognize that their cash cow may not be as lucrative as they once were. Perhaps it's time to let Ryan enjoy a typical childhood rather than working as a YouTuber full-time. The man has been working hard since he was 3.5 years old. At that age, he was unable to read, let alone the contracts that his face was signing. So let's take a moment to revisit the golden ages. Kadji Ryan.
I remember being your age and just changing my mind every day in terms of what I wanted to be when I grew up. You know, I wanted to be an astronaut, then I wanted to be an NBA player. I'm curious, like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I want to be like an animator. I think it's really fun to do because like the drawing and then like at the end you get to see the whole thing and see what you've like worked on the whole time.
The fact that Ryan is 13 years old, has a deeper voice, a mustache, and possibly some armpit hair, but his parents still have him do toy reaction videos as if he were a tiny child makes it sad to watch.
We did it, we're tightened.
Imagine being a teenager and still having to unwrap toys on camera because your parents won't stop chasing you after 10 years of this.
What? Ryan, I have a surprise for you.
What?
Look over here.
Whoa!
What do you see?
It's a giant flaming McQueen egg!
Yeah, it is. You want to open it?
Yeah!
Let's go!
Even the way his father stares at him makes it sound to me like a screenplay that his parents are providing him. That's why money is actually everything. The most absurd thing is that Ryan doesn't seem to understand how much he's truly earning, between $1.50 and $1.59 million, despite not even having reached adolescence.
You're on track to be a teenage billionaire. How much does Ryan get to keep of all this?
Oh, be careful, Ryan.
You have to ask, what are his...
Can you heat up that strange be careful laugh of his dad's? Ryan, they've made billions of dollars from YouTube revenue, sponsorships, toy deals, merchandise, and even a movie, but they still insist that Ryan create more videos. You have to wonder what his parents are doing with all that money. Are they giving him his fair share, or are they keeping the majority of it for themselves? I believe I have discovered the reason why Ryan's parents are immigrants, and his mother was even arrested for stealing years ago.
Looking into the family's past, and it turns out that Ryan's mother, Loan Guan, was arrested in 2002 for shoplifting. She was trying to steal around $93 worth of clothing from JCPenney at Alameda Mall in Houston, Texas. Loan was 18 at the time and attending the University of Houston. She faced 60 days in jail, and instead the judge gave her 6 months probation and a $150 fine. She was told that she had to complete 40 hours of community service and complete random drug tests. Pretty lenient. Problem is, Loan did not show up to her community service, she didn't report to her community advisor, nor did she pay for the fees. She was arrested again in 2003 for violating her parole and spent 30 days in jail.
They most likely didn't have much money growing up, and now that they are billionaires, they are obsessed with pursuing more, but at what cost? You can comprehend what I mean if you merely listen to the mother's past. It is simply wrong to take advantage of your child in this way. Just watch this video to see how they get him do things he wouldn't ordinarily do. It's
Ryan, I have a surprise for you.
What?
Look over here.
Whoa!
What do you see?
It's a giant flaming McQueen egg!
Yeah, it is. You want to open it?
Yeah!
Let's go!
difficult to believe they haven't violated any child labor laws by making him work like this when he should be enjoying his childhood. After all, it's legal to put a toddler in front of a camera in order to earn millions of dollars for you. What if Ryan decides he no longer wants to do this?
Yeah, if he came to you and said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be an engineer. Mom, I want to be a teacher like you," you know, I don't want. What do you say? Like, it's okay to like leave all of this behind if like Ryan were to call it quits? Like, what would happen to pursue something else?
Yeah, for sure.
According to Ryan's father, they have established a trust fund, engaged wealth managers, and granted Ryan a stake in the business. Just pay attention to his explanation of the Who Company issue.
They've created generational wealth.
let's
how
be
do you
real.
think about the future of that as a family?
Managing this scale of the business, this scale of the finance. So when we first saw the initial success of the YouTube, that was like the first thing we kind of learned, that how to manage assets for our kids and then for his future kids. So trust fund and then multiple different the wealth management groups who oversee Ryan's finance. So there's a lot of kid talent. You see on the news that they regret how money was managed when they were little. So that's one thing we want to make sure is when he grows up, his assets are maintained and even grow. When he's at the right age, he has the money that he could use for his new future project when he grows up. So we setting up multiple different accounts right now. At the moment.
Yeah, because I know Hollywood has the Coogan account where they keep money for child actors, 15% put in a fund. It sounds like you guys are doing something similar and kind of setting a precedent for other kids on YouTube.
Without Ryan, the business wouldn't even exist. He is its face and name, and as such, he should not just receive a little portion of it, but should also own it completely. Suppose you were 13 years old, wealthy millions, and still had to depend on your parents for your earnings. To make matters worse, Ryan doesn't seem to have much of a say in any of this. Ryan should be out having fun, playing sports, making friends, or just being a typical teenager, but instead he's stuck in front of a camera opening toys. His parents claim he's not being forced, but how much choice does a child really have when their entire life has been centered around this?
How did this all start?
Well, Brian been watching YouTube ever since he's little, and he started watching other kids on YouTube. And one day he just come up and asked me, can we start a YouTube channel? There's other kids on here. It looks like they're having fun. Then I started watching YouTube videos with him, and it really did look like the family on there, the kids on there were having a blast together. So I thought, why not? We can use it as a fun experience, bonding experience together. So decided to just take him to the store and then just ask him, what toy do you want to play with? And that's just how it got started.
Ryan's life began as a young child playing with toys like any other child. By 2024, he is 13 years old, and it is heartbreaking to see him stuck in the same activity. It no longer feels like fun, and you have to ask yourself if Ryan even understands what is going on, or if he is just a treasure trove for his parents. Additionally, we must consider the mental toll that this must be taking on Ryan. How do you interact with other children when your life is so drastically different? How do you go to school the day after recording a toy review with your parents? Their goods stopped selling out, and YouTube channels that featured Ryan in almost every other video aren't generating the same amount of revenue as before. It's as if the internet finally said, "Let me retire, bro."